you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
There I am. And welcome to another edition of the eye test. We're going to need the eye test there if I wasn't in the box there, Pierre. Pierre McGuire, Jimmy Murphy here on the Sick Podcast Network. We got another great show in store for you. We will be talking shortly to Matt Keator. You've seen him here on the eye test before. He is the longtime agent of soon to be inducted. Well, he's already inducted, but physically inducted into the Hall of Fame. Zdeno Chara, who will go officially into the Hall on Monday. We'll take a trip down memory lane and look back at the career of Z through the eyes of his longtime friend and agent, Matt Keator. But Pierre, before we do that, lots to talk about. I'd like to start in Toronto, Pierre. You watched that game a lot more closely than me. I went back and watched pockets of it today and read up on it. Am I right? Did you get the impression that this was one of their better performances of the season?
Yeah, because the coach got their attention after what had happened in the Pittsburgh game. Coach got their attention. You know, the biggest thing was, by the way, credit where credit's due. You've talked about Utah a lot. Utah's a good team. They're a fast team. They're a young team. They're going to be making some mistakes, but going to be exciting to watch. Toronto knew that. So, you know, he had a game plan talking about, you know, obviously Craig Berube. And part of that plan was to get pucks in deep and force Utah to go 200 feet with the puck. They played a great shoot and retrieval game. Their forecheck game was good. That's out of character for them. They like to be an attack off the rush, fancy, cool, slickster kind of team. That's not what they were yesterday or last night. They were hard on it. They were smart on it. John Tavares was great in that game. I thought Matthias Michelli was phenomenal in that game. And the biggest thing that I saw, it's a team that knows they don't have Chris Tanev. And because they don't have Chris Tanev, they all have to buckle up defensively. And I thought they did a much better job of that last night.
And, you know, they hadn't had him for a bit, Pierre, but it took a while for them to understand that. But it's good that they got the picture and they finally applied it there. And you're right. With Utah, I mean, I think we know for now they're for real. They're not going to sneak up on people. And so I think that Toronto knew they couldn't.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Not complacent. That's too strong a word. But they couldn't not take them seriously. They had to go in.
Couldn't do what they did to Pittsburgh. They got outshot 17-3 in the second period of the game with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Now, they found lightning in a bottle in the Pittsburgh game, and they found a way to come back and battle. You know, not an easy thing to do. And that may have planted a seed of doubt in Pittsburgh's mind going forward. And they've lost Tristan Jarry, too, which we'll see how that goes. The one thing I would say for Pittsburgh, just to divert for a second, Murashov, the goalie that's come up, he's really good.
He's got goalie right?
All last spring I watched him, and then all this training camp I watched him. This guy's the real deal. He's really good. Yeah,
it's funny. I mean, you think about it, Pierre, when we're kind of looking at the goaltending situation, let's say last spring, right, or even in the winter for Pittsburgh, and it wasn't looking too bright. And now you've got Murashov, you've got Seelovs. Jerry hasn't been as bad as he was last year.
No.
All of a sudden, that's become a strength for them organizational-wise.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100%. So anyway, that's the Pittsburgh side of it. The Toronto side of it, you asked me about, did they play one of their better games? The answer is yes, against a good team. A good team. So I give them a lot of credit. They're not going to be able to play like that all the time. But if they have Austin shooting the puck like he was last night, if they have Michelli making plays like he was last night, if they have the constructive team defense that they had last night, that's going to lead to a lot of success for that team. They're going to be where you and I both expected them to be, but they have to play like that.
Yeah. Well, one team that cannot seem to figure it out and get out of their own way right now, Pierre, is the St. Louis Blues. And I get it. Alexander Ovechkin's on the verge of scoring his 900th, and he gets it. And it's a rocking arena down there in D.C., but still, there's just something missing. We can't figure it out, but there's just something going on with St. Louis right now. They were a team that both of us felt really confident about coming into this season after the finish they had last year, after what Jim Montgomery was able to do since he came over there, and really not much of a different roster. They didn't lose a ton of people. I just can't figure this out right now, Pierre.
Well, Hofer has not been good in goal, and Binnington has not been very good in goal, so that's part of the problem. I don't know what's going on there with Jordan Kyrou. Something's going on there with Jordan Kyrou. I don't know. Jake Neighbors' injury has not helped them. You
Mhm.
know, Jake Neighbors, an important player in that team. That injury
Thomas was
hasn't
out
helped
for a
them.
bit.
Huh?
Robert Thomas had been out for a
Yeah,
bit.
Robert had been hurt and now he's coming back, so that makes a difference. So that, I mean, is it the same lineup they finished the season? No, it's not, but it all starts in goal for them. Binnington was an amazing story last year, and he has been since he basically got back in the lineup in 2019.
Mhm.
You know, and they win the Game 7 in Boston in the Stanley Cup final. That's a pretty big thing. But there's something wrong there. There's something
Yeah.
wrong.
It just looks like there's like when you watch them, they're sort of going through the motions out there. Pierre, what did you think? Speaking of Bennington, what did you think of him taking the puck?
No comment.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what are you doing?
I want, you know, the one thing I want to do is dignify guys. That's why I was really upset. And I give credit where credit's due. I was really upset the way the Toronto media, the national media, and the Leafs handled John Tavares' 500th goal. That was not acceptable.
Yeah,
And I think they knew. I think the Leafs knew that the way this was handled wasn't done right. It should have been done on Saturday night.
Mhm.
And they'll tell you the excuse, well, we wouldn't have had time to prepare for it. That's a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
You prepare for that way in advance. So
Yeah.
if it does happen, you're ready for it. That's number one. Number two, how about the national media? Anybody
Yeah.
want to step up and say, hey, we got this wrong.
Yep.
We forgot he got 500 goals. So, Jimmy, I'm of the vintage, okay, where I remember when Jean Beliveau in 1971 scored against the Minnesota North Stars, his 500th goal. It was a mammoth thing in Montreal. And I remember 2 years later, Frank Mahovlich scoring his 500th goal against Vancouver. And I remember the goalie, Dunk Wilson. I don't forget that. Like, I'm a kid growing up watching this.
Yeah, they're
It
moments.
was a huge story.
Yeah.
John Tavares scored his 500 goals. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's not fair.
No, it
Not
wasn't right. And so I'm going to give credit where credit's due. The credit goes to the Leafs last night. They knew, they'll never admit it, they knew they did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
They knew.
And they made
That's
up for it.
okay. They
Yeah.
made it up last night. They
Yeah.
did it very well. And hats off to them. They did a very good job last night.
And hats off to the Flames as well for Kadri's 1,000th.
And to Naz's teammates.
Yes.
They played their butts off. I was
To his
really,
daughter, the speech. That was great.
yeah, no, it's all good. I mean,
It's horrible.
I'm happy for him. Like
Yeah.
okay. I know Naz is a villain in a lot of cities, but I know him a different way than most fans know him.
Yeah.
And the different way I know him is watching him get cut from a World Junior team and breaking down emotionally and hugging the kid, and then watching the joy of him making a national junior team
Yeah.
and seeing the difference a year later.
Yep.
So I've seen the heartbroken guy, and I've seen the really amazingly intense happy guy.
Yep.
And to see those two different people is an amazing gift to have that allowed to you. It
And
is.
we're going to go to our guest in a second, but I just want to say quickly on him too. Credit to him as we've credited Brad Marchand for looking in the mirror and heeding the advice of a lot of his mentors and people around him. Naz did the same thing. He is a different player than he was 7 years ago, so to speak.
Yeah, okay. I was doing Eddie Olchuk, Doc Emmerich, and I were doing those games when he was in Toronto. Okay, we were doing those games, playoff games.
Yep.
Yeah, he made mistakes.
Right.
You think he's the only guy that's ever made mistakes? And I don't mean you. I mean the fan. Like, come on. He made some bad mistakes.
Yeah.
He got over. So people are mad at certain players. Like, people are now mad at the Leafs because they're not intense enough. They're not mean enough. Well, they had that, and then they got mad at the guy that was intense. It was me. Like, which way do you want it?
I'll tell you what. Well, one guy that was mean and intense and didn't make many mistakes was Zdeno Chara, and his agent Matt Keator's joining us right now from the Keator Club. It says here in the studio.
Well, that's what all his clients are. They're Keator Club members.
I like that.
That's wait. I gotta get Z's jersey in the background.
I see it. There we go.
There we go. That's just for Pierre. No, the Keator Club is my old summer league team down in Foxborough.
Yes. There were some good players on those teams, Jimmy.
We had a great time.
Nice.
Lasted, I'd say, probably about 12 years of great hockey down there. So
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Is that the league that a lot of the players, when they come home for the summer, they play in, or is this?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You know, like youth wise, I had Chris Kreider playing in that league at 16.
Wow.
A number of other guys. Adam Fox, he came out once, and he actually, I told him I had to put him at forward. So he just sat in the center of the ice and just distributed the puck all over the ice. Everything flew through him. He was playing chess, everyone else checkers.
He was the Nicky Backstrom of the Keator Club.
Yeah.
He was for sure.
Yeah.
You excited for Big Z?
I am excited, Pierre. It's been a long journey with him. I think I started with him back in '99 when my son Ryan was born, and 26 years later, here we are. So it's been a long journey. You mentioned he didn't make many mistakes. Well, I beg to differ. Early in his career, he made a lot of mistakes.
Yep.
But one thing he was always good at was learning from his mistakes and figuring out a way to master his craft.
Mm-hmm.
So he started at a very, young age, awkward. He realized early on he had to outwork everybody on and off the ice, and he wanted to maximize his career. And I use him as a great example of someone who maxed out his career. He got the most he could on and off the ice out of his body and out of his game, and became who he is today.
Was there when you talk about how he learned from his mistakes, was there a point that you remember specifically where he maybe changed his off-ice approach or his on-ice stuff? Was there a moment?
I think it's a good question. I think it was constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
He was very into journaling, kept track of all his workouts, his food, how his body felt after each workout, each day, always testing himself. And he created a system and structure with which to operate and get the most out of himself and improve mostly. I mean, here we were at the tail end of his career, and he's like, Matty, I want to get better. I go, skating. Okay. Get me a good skating coach. He got a good skating coach. When I think the season ended, and a week later, he's on the ice working.
Wow.
Because the older you get, the more you have to keep skating. It's like a golf swing. You're going to lose it older if you don't do it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just examples, And I think I look back at his career, and I've done a few of these podcasts on this. I look back at his career, and the Islanders was good for him because I think he learned how to defend. But after a while, the style was just throw it off the glass and out, and they pigeonholed him into a 5-6 defenseman role, nothing more. And I remember him calling me right after he got traded in the Yashin deal, pretty good deal for Ottawa. And he said, "Is this good? I got traded." I go, "Absolutely, it's good." Why? Mm-hmm. Because Ottawa back then, when they had Redden and Hossa, like all those
Phillips,
all those young players, they were allowed to possess the puck. They were allowed to make plays up the middle of the ice. They were able to hold on to the puck, and it helped develop his game huge. And he really leaned into the skill part of the game, and he just kept evolving. So it was it's been, again, when he was in Ottawa, he was doing 3 workouts a day.
Wow.
He'd go before the practice, he'd go after the practice, then he'd go home and rest for a little bit, eat, and he'd go back for another one. Doing different body parts, everything else.
I've heard this from the trainers in Ottawa, so I know it's true. It's not just Matt talking about his client. Matt, I wanted to ask you this because I've heard this both in Europe, and I know you spent a lot of time there, and also in North America, that Big Z's father let him go to Prince George after Big Z beat him in a Greco-Roman wrestling match. His father was a Greco-Roman wrestler. Is that a true story?
Well, 2 things. One, I don't know if the story's true, but now that you've told me that, I got to ask him. Right? And 2, yes, he was a Greco-Roman wrestling. Did they grapple at times? Yes, they did.
Jimmy, the father was a Olympic.
Oh yeah, I remember talking to Z about it. Yeah.
So I went back to Z's house in Trenčín, Slovakia, years ago because I was over there seeing Pavel Dimitra and Michael Handzus, Ladislav Nagy. These guys are all retired now, but I went over there and Z showed me. He wanted to show me the basement of his house. And it was like a torture chamber, he worked out so hard. His dad pushed him hard, but obviously it worked out.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy, Matt touched on something that I think is a really important story. Dukla Trenčín is an iconic team in Slovakia. It's like the Montreal Canadiens of Slovakia. It's iconic.
Mhm.
And Big Z's from there, the late Pavel Dimitra, Marian Hossa, Marian Gabriel. Like there are a lot of guys from Matt knows. All those guys, Jimmy, put money in to build the arena in town and make it better for the kids in the town.
Wow.
I don't think that gets enough publicity, Matt. I really
Yeah,
don't.
they did that for the practice rinks, so they had enough 1 or 2 sheets of ice so kids could play, so they could practice 12 months a year, which is huge. And Marian Gaborik was a real driving source, plus those other guys. You know, they all lived on like one block.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. Jimmy, it's an amazing story. It truly is. It's an amazing story.
Wow. Matt, how did you discover Z? Like, how did you guys first meet?
Well, he was with a big firm agency in juniors, and I just don't think he felt like he was getting the attention he needed. And he interviewed a bunch of agents, and you know, it was just a regular Tuesday afternoon. I'm minding my own business, and I was told he might call me, and he calls me, and you know, right after his practice, must have been around 1 o'clock. He calls me and he goes, "Hey, Matt, this is Zdeno Chara." I go, "Hey, Z, how are you?" He goes, "I'd like to talk to you about becoming my agent." And I just said, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow for lunch?" So
Go ahead.
he was taken by that. He was, "Oh my gosh." So I went down the next day, we were just supposed to have lunch. I ended up staying for dinner, and we spent 6 hours together, and it was amazing.
Jimmy, I want to get like Keator's never going to take credit for this. One of the guys that's probably one of the most legendary hockey figures in the history of Slovakia is Peter Stastny. And Matt and Peter worked together in St. Louis. People don't know that. I do. And I know they built an amazing friendship. And to be a friend of Peter Stastny is a pretty incredible thing. He's a larger than life figure.
Yep.
And so I think that probably played a little role in it too, did it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Peter was aware of me and having, you know, his blessing, or, you know, through others. Michael Hanzus, I was already working with him, and you know, he obviously knew. So it was just a grouping of things. But really, in the end, it was competition. And you know, I think Z appreciated my small firm approach, which I've always kept. And you know, I think he really appreciated that. And I think we just really connected on all levels. I mean, to this day, he lives 3 miles from me. You know, we see each other a lot. We're great friends. You know, very blessed to have him in my life. Very lucky to have him in my life. And it's going to be fun this weekend going up to Toronto and seeing him. And Peter,
are you buying me dinner?
I got sworn that you were going to buy me dinner. I thought
I guess I will.
Tim Hortons?
Yeah, Tim Hortons. There we go. Z's got the whole schedule. It's amazing. He's got everything like military-like precision.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But no, he's very excited, and you know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Take us back. Oh, go ahead. Pierre.
No, it's going to be an induction weekend at the Hall of Fame. Is one of the most amazing things you can ever be around. And I can just say, I can't say too much because I'm on the committee, but Z's induction is huge. It crosses a lot of different things. It's the way he is as a human being. It's what he does to make the world better. It's how good he was as a player, how great he was as a leader, what he's done for hockey in Slovakia in particular, but what he's done for kids all over the world. And Mac will talk about that, I hope. He's a special guy, Jimmy.
Yeah, I use him as kind of an example for others, right? So a lot of his habits and methods all passed down on to college, and I talk to a lot of college and high school teams, and go in and just basically talk about how to maximize your career. And I use him as a prime example. But I was able to pass down some of his lessons to my clients, like Paul Stastny, Blake Wheeler, Kreider, Killorn, Montour, you know, trying to get Adam Fox more into that. He is. Foxy had a great offseason, and he's really pushing it.
And you know what? You can see it this year. You can
see it. But it's that 24/7 mentality of being a pro and doing whatever you can to maximize your career, because that's what he did. And, you know, I had him speak to a bunch of young kids last year around Boston area, and it was very impactful. You know, very impactful for him, for the players, and I got a lot of great feedback from that.
If you can remember when Z came to Boston, that first season obviously didn't go well for him or for the for the team, everything, and there were a lot of changes that following off season. But besides obviously the impact of a new coach and Claude Julien, who came over, what do you remember about Z heading into that season and how it translated going forward for that organization, not just in that season, but what it shaped?
I think they had to fail before they became good.
Me too.
Right?
Me too.
And they had failed a couple of years before that, but then he got there and he was a captain for the first time. And I think he was wrapping his arms around how to be a captain, you know, on a weaker team. You know, the coach was the coach at the time for that 1 year.
Dave Lewis.
Yeah, and I think he learned a lot that year. I remember talking to him about it. He's like, Matty, I was trying to do too much, and I wasn't with the puck and trying to do too much in the locker room. And I think Peter Chiarelli has been a really good sounding board and mentor for Z beyond myself and others. And I think, you know, Peter said, Z, just be you, lead by example. And I think Claude gave them that system and that structure that the team needed to take off through time. And you just see it ramping up.
Right.
You know,
1 year after another.
1 year after another. They had some failures in the playoffs, you know, but they just ramped up and you could just see the upside. After that 08 season, you could see the upside that led to 2011. And, you know, I remember it's the evolution of teams, you know, no different than the Blackhawks in 08, and they took off in 10 and beyond, you know. But I think that evolution of the team, a lot of it has to do with Z and Bergie. And hopefully Bergie's there this weekend. I'm pretty sure he's going to come up. And, you know, I think that's, you know, what they created there, those two basically as a team, and they credit each other. They worked hand in hand.
Oh yeah.
Was great. It was amazing.
They had a pretty good mentor to help them too, and Mark Recchi, who had won Stanley
Unreal.
Cups in Carolina and obviously in Pittsburgh, and he's one of my ponies. The one thing I'd say about Z, this is a good story. I don't even know if I've ever told Matt this story. So I'm there to do an NBC national game, and I see Z in the hallway, and they had just gotten rid of Johnny Boychuk. And Z's, as Matt said, he's extremely intense, Jimmy, as you know too.
Yep.
And I see Z, it's just Z and I in the hallway. And I go, how you doing? He goes, not good. And I'm like, oh boy, maybe I should move on.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
I go, what happened? He goes, Johnny Boychuk, what they did to John. And he was mad. That was about as angry as I've ever seen him.
That's because it was a tight room, and they all cared about each other. Yep. And, you know, they wanted to be together. It was a family.
Yep.
You know? But unfortunately, there's a salary cap.
Yes. Yeah, there is.
And that's the business side that sometimes as players they don't understand. Yep. But anyway, he cares about the Z cares about people first and foremost.
Agreed.
You know, and I like the fact that he would pick guys up when they got traded. He'd be the guy picking them up at the airport. He'd be the guy making it inclusive. He'd be the guy, no rookie hazing, can't do that. Yep. Everyone's all in one. He's the one leader every year in pull-ups and chirped everybody and challenged them to, you know, to beat him. Yep. And, you know, he was on that Spit and Chicklets podcast back in January of 2024, and he was on for an hour and a half, just talked. And it was amazing to listen to him there, you know. Yeah. If anyone gets a chance to listen to that, because it really talked about the hardship and the upbringing that he had and kind of his journey, which I thought was great. So
how about in 2019, he comes out there in game 5 with that broken jaw. How much pain was he in, and how close was he to not playing, or was it never an
it was never, he was going to play no matter what.
Exactly. That's what I figured.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 5 shifts, maybe 25 shifts. He ended up playing 17 minutes. So kind of in between that, it's the loudest I've ever heard the Garden.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
It was.
I did the game.
Pierre did the game. You know, I was right behind Pierre, 14 rows back. So, you know, it was amazing to watch. And, you know, I really went over the pros and cons with him, because you could do permanent damage. You could do this and that, but it's all about team. That's what he's about.
Yeah.
And
You know what's amazing, Jimmy and Matt? Nobody talks about 2013. I think he was as injured in 2013 as he was in 2019. I mean, I did an interview with him before Game 6. He barely moved.
Shoulder.
Yeah,
Z had a hip labrum. I mean, it was
unbelievable. And like, I didn't want to say anything because, out of respect, but I knew how bad he was.
Yeah.
And he was out there, and I interviewed him. And one of the questions I asked is, they think they have you hurt because all the Blackhawk players were saying, Chara's hurt, Chara's hurt. So I said, they think they have you hurt. Do they? And he says, not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
But you always see it the next day when the season ends and they put the surgery list out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's no other sport like hockey.
Yeah.
And in terms of like having to win 16 games over, 28 game schedule probably, and you're just not going to find that. And this guy was the ultimate playoff warrior.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. There were a lot of them over the years, but he's one of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So how has he been enjoying post-career life? He looks like he's loving it, still running marathons.
Well, I think he's out of his mind. But other than that, no, he's into the process of setting a goal and going after it and improving. So he works on his running, and then that leads to triathlons, and that leads to training. And, he's very much into that, but he's also doing business ventures. Mm-hmm. He's got a new company called Castables. If you go on to his his Instagram feed, Castable is an audio version of like a Manning cast, but you can sit and listen to a game with a celebrity, and you get into different rooms. I think it's pretty cool. We've done a few of them as test market, test one. We've done 2 of them, and it's fun, and you can sit and watch a game and everyone talks, and, you hear celebrities or sports figures talking about the game and everything else. So it's an interesting thing. He's also working with the Bruins, and that evolved, as Donnie Sweeney put it, organically, just through him being around, players going to him, and it just evolved. And, he's in a mentoring role, and he helps Marco out, and especially one of my former clients, Jay Leach, who runs the defense, working with young defensemen. So it's great for him, and I think Cam and Donnie really appreciate that he's there and spreading the culture around.
Well, we're going to let you go on this one. It was supposed to be a celebration of Big Z, but I want to celebrate another one of your clients. There's a guy out in Anaheim. His name is Carlson, I think.
Yeah.
Carlson.
Yeah.
Leo Carlson, is that his name?
Yeah, that would be.
Did I get that right?
Don't forget it, please.
Oh, geez, Louise, this guy's good.
Yeah, he's kind of I think Alex Kaloran called me last year. He goes, I think this guy's a Hall of Fame level talent.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. He's got a long way to go, obviously, but talent-wise, he's got everything. And it's been super fun to watch. I know how hard he worked this summer in the off-season in Karlstad, Sweden. And his personality is just so easygoing, happy to be here, just no pressure, just playing.
Did you put the Karlstad in because you got another client in Färjestad, or what did you do that for?
No, because I love Karlstad. Nice small. I do have a few from there. I have a great relationship with a group over in Sweden that we collaborate with, and we both have the same name, Win Hockey Agency, and we share the same values and beliefs, and it's been a lot of fun with them.
Jimmy,
in fact, Z's the one who hooked me up with these guys because
he played in Färjestad in the lockout.
He played in Färjestad. I did the contract with Hakan Lube back in 4 or 5.
It was 04-05.
And he played with a guy from Czech who he knew back in Czech, a guy by the name of Radek Hammer.
Okay. I know Radek Hammer really well.
Quite a name.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that. And he ended up in Färjestad with Z, and Radek became an agent, and Z called me one day and says, "Hey, Matt, I want you to talk to my friend Radek Hammer," which I laughed at his name, but I did remember it. And I'm like, what do you want? Like, what do you want me to do? He's like, just talk to him. If you want to work with him, great. I go, yeah, I'll talk to him for a minute or two. Talk to him for 90 minutes. He was unbelievable. He flew over the next week, and I've been working with him and his partner ever since. Like, they're great people. But that's what Z does. I think he attracts great people.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy, that year in the Swedish final, he was Färjestad playing against Gothenburg for Frölunda. Okay.
Yeah,
in the final. So on one team, you had a guy named Chara and another guy named Surrey.
Wow.
And on the other team, you had a guy named Lundqvist and a guy named Alfredson.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was there for the series.
Wow.
And it was amazing to watch. I watched the whole thing, and eventually Frölunda beat Färjestad in the final. But that was a lockout year, Matt. That was special hockey.
Is that like the nuclear winter?
Yeah, nuclear winter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that hockey was special with a lockout, but also the American League. I can remember watching Bergeron and those guys going at.
Eric Stahl was in Lowell. He was ripping it up. Yeah, you're right on. Yeah, you're right.
There was great hockey all around. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this weekend, Pierre. I think it's going to be special, and I'm glad you're going to be up there. We'll talk offline on that, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching this. And again, I think Z's influence is felt in all corners, especially the big defenseman and how size is important, but also the habits that he's passed down to a lot of young players all the way through. And I think everyone's been influenced by him and his methods and his career.
Well, please pass along to him too my gratitude for how professional he was and how nice he was just as a human being to a lot of us media in Boston over the years.
He always gave Pierre interviews. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
He was always good with me. I had no issues with Z. And if I did, I'd be running. And one other thing, because he never gets enough credit for it. Gordie Clark was with the Islanders when Z was drafted, but Mike Milbury was a huge proponent. And I always want to stress that of Z. And not enough people give Mike credit for that, but it was Mike that really went to the wall for Z.
Oh, Mike was great with him.
Yeah, just so everybody knows. I know Mike gets a lot of shots, and it's not fair.
No.
He did a lot of really good stuff, and one of them was with Zdeno Chara.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's funny with Gordie. Gordie was good at recognizing the character piece. He drafted Chris Kreider.
Yeah,
out of Andover.
Yep.
19th overall. It was a gutsy pick. So
can you imagine out of Andover that back then they had Chris Kreider and Garnet Hathaway?
Well, I represent Garnet.
I know you do. Well, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Well, Kreider called me one day and he's like, "Hey, Matt, if you really want to work with me, you're going to have to take Garnet." And I'm like, "Oh God, I don't want to take this guy." Garnet loves that story.
Worked well though.
It worked well.
Well, he earned every NHL paycheck that he got. He earned every one.
Talk about a guy maximizing his career. And he actually had the opportunity to play with Z in Washington that first year.
Yeah,
and they became good friends. And he learned a lot from him. He kept telling me, "This guy's unbelievable."
Yeah.
Garnet Hathaway is for another podcast. That is a great story.
We got to get him on sometime. Let's do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Talk to his agent, will you, Jimmy?
What's his name?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you. See you this week,
buddy. See you guys.
All right.
Matt
Keator to join us here on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network. And, he was really good with the media, Pierre. And he always took the time to have an actual conversation with you. It wasn't just like, okay, I got to answer these questions and get the hell out of here. He'd sit there and talk with you on a human level. And, you appreciate that over the years.
I have just respect. I have total respect for him. A lot of intriguing conversations with him over time on both sides of the border. And we were both really good friends with a guy that passed away, Pavel Dimitra.
Yeah.
And I think about Pav every day. I do.
Yeah, that was sad.
He was a great kid. He was a great player. He was an awesome father. He was a great teammate. Pavel Dimitra was a special guy.
Good stuff. All right. Well, let's get to our sponsors here, and then we'll get to the Q&A. Let's start off with our new sponsor who just came on here. Really glad to have them aboard here on the Eye Test. Point S and GT Radial are offering you the chance to win a new set of GT Radial winter tires, plus free installations at a Point S garage. A total value of $1,000. In order to participate, go to the Sick Podcast Instagram page and put a like, press a like button right there, comment on the pin post, and then follow both Sick Podcast and Point S on Instagram. The contest ends November 16th. Point S is your trusted garage for complete vehicle care. And of course, our wonderful sponsors, Vago, where we will be live a week from today, right now, a week from today, we will be live at Vago broadcasting for remote there. Looking forward to that and meeting Angelo and the whole crew and enjoying a wonderful meal with Pierre and his amazing mom as well. Cannot wait for that. Vago combines old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years, private dining rooms for any occasion, open Monday to Saturday evening and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. They're located at 1336 Green Avenue in Westmount. For reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, that's 514-846-1414. And of course, our wonderful sponsors, Betway, where you can still go all the way with Betway and bet the beauties there. If you're not a member yet, you can get a great deal by signing up. So go to that QR code right in front of you if you're watching. Otherwise, if you're just listening, go to the website and go to the members section and fill out your details there. You must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. And this wonderful offer where you go there, you can get up to $300 back on your first deposit, even if you lose your first bet. That is a heck of a deal there. So go there right now. The offer is not available in Ontario. And like I said, you must be 18 plus. All right, my picks of the night. Not a good night last night, but I'm going to make a comeback tonight. Let's storm through them here. The Pittsburgh Penguins are hosting the Washington Capitals. Capitals coming off a big win last night. Ovechkin gets his 900th. I smell a little letdown in the first period. Give me the Penguins in the first period. Pretty much even money. They're at minus 110 for the period on the money line. I also like the Philadelphia Flyers to go into Nashville. They are slight underdogs there at plus 102 on the money line. Give me the Flyers. And then in Dallas, the Anaheim Ducks, who are on a roll. They're going into Dallas right now for a tough matchup there with the Stars. I like them continue that roll. They are plus 160 underdogs there. That's some great value for one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now. Give me the Ducks. And then my final one is the Florida Panthers coming off another rough loss to those Anaheim Ducks. They're going to want to get back at it, and I'm sure they've been building up that frustration. They want to put it out there in the ice and have a great start. So give me them in the first period at minus 105 at LA against the Kings, the Panthers in the first period. All right, what do we got in our Q&A? CMOC hockey training. Pierre, do you think Ryan Donato is the most underrated forward in the NHL? I watch him a lot as a Hawks fan, and he has improved his skating so much, can play up and down the lineup, grit and scoring touch. And CMOC, don't forget, he's got a cool agent too. It's a guy that was just on with us.
Wait a second. I just have to say one thing because I got to be transparent. I don't know if CMOC's playing me or not. Ryan used to skate with us in the summers in Boston. He's married to one of my best friend's daughters. And I had his father at hockey camp many, many moons ago. So I've known the Donato family for a long time. They're an iconic Massachusetts athletic family. Mr. Donato, Ryan's grandfather, passed away not very long ago. He was an amazing sports guy in the state of Massachusetts. I wouldn't say he's the most underrated. I don't think that's fair to any player because anybody that scores 30 goals in the NHL in one season is pretty good. I'm a big Donato fan. We were very interested in trying to get him to Ottawa when I was there. We just couldn't get it done. And big fan. I think his better days, and Simo touched on it. He went down to Tampa with his dad 2 summers ago and worked on his skating. Yeah. And that made a big, big difference in his game. Big difference.
Yeah. I give him a lot of credit, Pierre, because I remember when he was in Boston and it was just wasn't working here. And
there's a lot of stories.
He hung his head, but he never did. He never did.
I know. He could have complained and he did not. Yeah. He almost got broken. I mean, that was a hard time in Bruins history.
It was really hard.
But he didn't get broken. And used to go to – he was in Minnesota, and whenever I'd go into town, and we did a lot of Minnesota Wild games, we'd go to there was a restaurant we would go to together, and he never once said one bad thing about the Bruins, ever. Never
Always
once.
had a smile on his face.
Never once.
Every day. Yeah, good for him. All right, next question. Randy Workman, who worries you the most, the Blues or the Flames? I'm going to say the Blues.
Blues. Didn't even have to – Jimmy jumped it before me. Blues.
Yeah. And it just, would you agree, Pierre? Because we expected so much out of them, and no offense to the Flames, I just had a feeling the Flames were.
I didn't have the Flames in the playoffs, and I had the Blues as being a wild card team. I didn't have them in the top 3. So,
all right, next question. What do we got? Pierre, how is Jonathan Taves look coming back after 2 years?
I think solid.
Yeah.
I think solid. You know, the role that they have him in is really good. Now they're getting Adam Lowry back. So that's going to be really interesting. They still don't have Perfetti back, but that's going to be really interesting to see how they do that. Their center ice play. So you think about it, Scheifele, Taves, Lowry. That's pretty, Jimmy, that's really good.
Mm.
So Winnipeg's becoming a real deal. I think Jonathan's been good.
All right, next question. PH_1046. If the Olympic roster deadline was today, who are your 3 goalies for Canada?
Logan Thompson's one of them.
Okay.
He's one of them.
Mm-hmm. Who's your other 2?
I don't know.
Me neither. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer right now. I honestly
I have to believe Binnington will be there.
Yeah. I think it could fluctuate a bit more, though, before we get there, Pierre.
No, but that's why I'm not giving. Like I've said this, you've heard me. I'm not prepared to do any prediction stuff because I think it's too fluid right now. But I can say, if you were to ask me who's going to be the goalie for Canada, I would tell you right now, Logan Thompson.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Nobody's told me that.
And I don't know where I heard it or read it, Pierre, but I believe Hockey Canada is meeting at Hall of Fame weekend this weekend.
They are 100%. Okay. You believe correctly. They are.
All right. Next question. Max rates. The whole Eastern Conference is at least 500. Have you seen anything like that before?
Yeah, we've had it before. Where it's similar to that. But let's get to U.S. Thanksgiving and see how many of those teams are at 500. I don't think they will be.
Yep. All right. Next question. A to Z me. If you guys had to guess one team doing well that will fade, or kind of in the light of the last question, as the season wears on, and one team doing poorly that will rise.
Go ahead, Jimmy. I have my thoughts.
Fade, huh? I would say Kraken in terms of fading.
They faded. They got faded last night, but good by San Jose. Wow. They got faded bad last night.
Yep. And in terms of rising, I'm going to go with the Wild. I think the Wild get better as the season goes on.
So I think once they get Matt Zuccarello back, I think they start to change the composure of their components on their team. So that comes down to slotting. So I think Minnesota is a team that I think can rise. I think the fade team for me might be Utah, and it's not because they're not a good team. They're really young. They don't have a lot of depth on defense, and injuries are going to happen. That's how it goes. And they have to be almost like last night, they weren't perfect, and so they lost. They have to be almost perfect every night to win. Yeah. And so that's where I think, as much as I really want them to do well, because that market looks like it could be really good, it's just I think they're a year early still.
Well, Pierre, I mean, we go back to last summer. It's a great call by you in terms of defense. Who did we hear was one of the biggest candidates to land Aaron Ekblad?
Ekblad.
Yeah, they were hot after him, man, because they know they need to shore up that D. Yeah. All right, next question. Habinations, what would McKenna mean for the Calgary Flames?
A lot of season ticket sales in the new building. That's what he would mean. And a tremendous ambassador for the sport in their community. And a guy that can help stimulate the rebirth of their group. Yeah.
I agree. All right. Next question. Owen Tremblay, 7309. What do both of you think of Demidov's defensive play? We all know what he can do when he has the puck, but I can't help but notice when they're on defense, he's hustling harder than anyone on the ice. I think he's learning, Pierre. Do you?
No, he is learning. But the reason why he's hustling so much is because he got beat in a bad spot. So he'll learn. It's okay. They're going to work with that. You don't want to crush. So this is the biggest thing with a young player like that. You don't want to crush his offensive spirit. So you let that go, which is good. But at some point, you're going to have to say, you know why you're working so hard on the back check? Because you're out of position.
Yeah.
You know why you're working so hard in zone coverage? Because you don't have your stick on the ice. Like they're little things. It's body position. I wish everybody would have had the opportunity like I did to watch Jacques Lemaire and Mario Tremblay and Larry Robinson run practices in New Jersey back in the day.
Oh, wow.
You'd have been blown away. The rules were different. I get it.
Yep.
But that's why they always won, or that's why they were always relevant, because they were so structured and layered, you couldn't get to the net. And then when you got to the net, you had to beat Brodeur. Like, it was crazy how good they were. but the fundamentals that coaching staff with Robinson, Trombley, and Lemaire taught, phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Really, really special.
All right, next question. What do we got? George Constas, 4061. Matheson is playing 25 minutes. We know he is not playing PP minutes, but aren't his PK and 5-on-5 just as demanding on the body as the PP? Is he playing too much?
It's not about the body. No, he's not playing too much. It's about the mental stress of being on the power play. The penalty kills, just you go out there and do what the game plan is. Power play is way different. It's unbelievably hard responsibility for a guy to run a power play. That's why Toronto hasn't been very good. They don't have Marner. They don't have anybody like Marner up top. So again, people don't want to talk about this, but I've been telling you for a while, get Mike Matheson off the first power play. He'll be a better player. Yep. He was. Now they go out and get Noah Dobson. Mike Matheson's much better than he was even last year.
Yeah.
So he's got to be a matchup guy and he's got to be a PK guy. And he's thriving in those situations, thriving.
All right, next question. Vincent Yoel. Hello, gentlemen. If you're coaching, how do you plan for the Habs? What would you focus on?
Straight matchup on Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky. And then my second pair would always be out against Demidov, and I would punish him. I would punish him.
And how do you stop that PP?
Oh, I wouldn't take penalties. But if you had to, I would overplay on Hudson all the time. Okay. I'd overplay Hudson. But I'm just being honest with you. Like, nobody wants to hear this, but this is the way it was. I identify guys that are important and you punish them.
You make life miserable. Yep. All right, next question. JB8814. What do you guys think of players looking at the tablets on the bench? I've accepted it, but at first I was like, but it's part of the game now.
I think they just grew up that way. I've said it a million times. These guys aren't audio learners. They're visual learners. Yeah. And so this is how they've been taught to learn.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to change it. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't work. So this is part of the growth of a coaching staff. You may not like it, but you got to understand it and you got to deal with it. And so if you live with it and you don't make it a problem, then it won't be a problem.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. All right. Next question. Ethan Russell. Do you think a player like Chris Tanoff would be beneficial for Team Canada and just all teams in general? Just a good shutdown defenseman? Pierre, I like the idea, but my problem is his health right now. Yeah, I just don't know.
I don't think he'll be playing in the Olympics, and it's unfortunate. Look,
but it's better for the Chiefs.
You know what's amazing? I saw Chris Tanev play at RIT. I saw Chris Tanev play for the Manitoba Moose. I saw Chris Tanev play for the Vancouver Canucks. I watched the journey. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal person, phenomenal player.
Yep.
But they're miles now, and now I'm worried about his long-term health.
Yeah.
So I don't see any Olympic stuff for him, unfortunately. What a great hockey family. His brother Brandon's thriving, just absolutely thriving in Utah. Yep. He's a great teammate, and he's a useful player too. Really good.
All right, next question. What do we got? Seamoke again. Pierre, your thoughts on Spencer Knight? Can he push for USA?
I think so.
I do too.
I think so. It's going to be interesting to see, where Swayman fit into the equation, where Thatcher Demko fit into the equation. There are going to be a lot of questions about a lot of guys.
It's kind of amazing, Pierre, when you look at Canada and USA and you put them up next to each other. I mean, the goaltending is just the goaltending depth.
Yeah. I would say 1-2 will probably be Hellebuck and Ottinger. I apologize, Ottinger. So I would say that those will probably be 1-2. And then that's when it comes out. Is it going to be Swayman? Is it, who's it going to be?
Yeah. But I think Spencer Knight definitely deserves consideration.
He's in the conversation.
What a great comeback too by him.
Yeah, no, it's great. Spencer's a really good kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. Tough situation in Florida. That's all I'm going to say. That would not, what's the best way to say it? That would not have happened with this regime if they had been there.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. Juice, Pierre, what are the keys to victory tonight for the Habs against the Devils?
Very good question. So I'll tell you what I think, and then you can tell me one way or the other. You better have a presence on Stefan Nason, on Jack Hughes, and on Jesper Bratt, number one. Number two, you can't allow their defense to jump into the rush. So Hamilton, Hughes, And Chalowski can't jump in the rush. You got to make sure they're not jumping in the rush. Biggest thing is dominate the cycle game. Force that D to defend. They get confused off aggressive cycle. Force them to defend the cycle. So that's kind of what I would do to play against New Jersey. But if you don't have a presence, and they took Palat off that line because Nason's healthy now, you put whomever you want to match up. Nason, Hughes, and Brat have to be shut down. They cannot be allowed to run wild, and if they do, you're going to have a problem.
All right, next question. PH_1046, when discussing an extension with Matheson, how big of a factor will a no movement clause be, and would you offer that as an option if you're a GM?
I'd offer it as an option as a GM as long as they gave me an option back of taking less money. And if it's not a give and take, then that's not on the table.
And I don't think money's going to be the biggest issue for him when the contract comes.
No, I would hope, and I've said this before, and I hope the Mathesons, and I know they sometimes listen and watch, don't take this personally, but I would hope that he'd go down the road like John Tavares did in Toronto. Yeah. He's a Toronto guy, and he's happy. He loves his family growing up there around grandparents, want him there, and he loves it there. It took a lot less money. I'm not saying Mike has to take a huge haircut, but I think he'll have to stay for a longer period of time, finish his career there. If I were a player right now, I would want to be in Montreal.
Isn't that nuts? Like 5 years
ago. In Montreal. 5 years ago, you would never, no chance.
No. Nope. That's great. All right, next question. Randy Workman, what's up, Randy? How much salary would the Flames need to eat to make a Kadri trade happen?
$2 to $3 million.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's played his 1,000th game now, so let's see where that goes. All right, next question. Ethan Russell, with the new CHL rules, do you think the USHL or prep school hockey take more of a hit?
Ethan, we've been talking about this for a long time, and the prep schools are in big trouble.
Yeah.
And the USHL, they could amalgamate into the CHL. The USHL might become a southern division of the Western Hockey League, or even a western division of the Ontario Hockey League. So that discussion has definitely been had. And I know a group that I've been talking with that's trying to buy a team in the Quebec Major Junior League. And there's definitely, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a chance the USHL might merge with one of the two, if maybe both of the leagues.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Next question. Vincent Noel again. What arena
Montreal, it's not even close. It's not even close, Vincent. But I will say this: Tampa Bay has definitely improved. The food in Tampa has actually become very good. In LA, it's not bad, but it's hard to beat Montreal. How about when you go to a press room in Montreal one time and the guy goes, "Voulez-vous de beef bourguignon?" I'm like, "Mais oui." You're getting beef bourguignon in a press room at an NHL game. Pourquoi pas, monsieur? Avec plaisir. Donne-moi ça.
We'll end it on this because that's it for our questions. But Pierre, I think I've told you this before. My first time ever covering a game up there, I don't know, we're talking back in 2002 maybe. Game 6, Bruins Canadiens, I think it was. So my dad had raved and raved about Montreal and just how it's just on another level, and the class, the ambience and everything about it. And so I get there and he calls me and he goes, "Where are you?" In front of, and he goes, "Go to a private air." And he goes, "Okay, so how are the hot dogs?" And I go, "Amazing." He goes, "Yeah, I thought so." And he goes, "And have you seen any woman that was not beautiful yet?" "No." He goes, "Well, that's Montreal for you, the hot dogs."
Yeah, it's a special place. There's no question. Hot dogs are good there.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Hot dogs are good. There was a club back in the old Forum. There was a club there called the Mise au Jeu, which in English stands for Face Off.
Yeah, that's the lottery name now.
And it's amazing. That food in that place was so good. The fine dining, it was amazing. It was run by a lady named Ruth Schofield, and her husband John had been there before. He passed away, and she took it over, and she did such a good job with that place, the Mise au Jeu. And when it moved over to the where it is now, the Centre Bell, the Bell Center, she didn't go with it. She just said, I'm out. I'm tapped out. I'm
I'll
done.
give Boston some credit too. Their food has gotten much better over the years. They do a hell of a job in the playoffs with the lobster and everything. So
Yeah, I would agree. Can I give one quick story on that?
yeah.
So I'm in the NBC production room and I'm just
In
hanging
Boston?
out in Boston. Yeah.
Okay.
During a big playoff series. And the security, the big Carlton, the big security man.
Yep.
Carlton comes and knocks on the door. So I'm like, hey, who is it? He goes, Carlton. Come on in. So he comes in. It's just me. I'm by myself in the room. And he goes, there's a gentleman here to see you, but he won't tell me his name. But I've seen him before. So I go, who is it? Just ask him what his name is. He goes, no. He says you'll know him. So I said, bring him in. It's Bobby Orr. So he comes in and he goes, hey, is it true they're serving lobster here tonight? I said, yeah, it's true, Bobby. They're serving lobster.
That was great.
And so I didn't have any because, I didn't want to drop anything. I'm about to do the game,
Yeah, you have to crack the shells and
Yeah,
everything.
but I don't think Bobby did either. But he's like, they're serving lobster here.
Yeah.
And I think for anybody that had been part of the Bruins before,
Yep.
they're like, there's no way they're serving lobster.
Exactly.
But they actually were, which was kind of cool.
Burgers and dogs before, and the Jacobs definitely stepped it up for sure. Great show. And another one. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. The pulled pork in Carolina is unreal. Unreal.
By the way, you know what's really good? Traveling to Ireland.
And I was just gonna say.
So we're getting close now.
I know.
And we have a special guest tomorrow on our show.
We do, and Pierre, I was on the meal note too. That Thanksgiving meal we had in Belfast.
That Robert Fitzpatrick is so good.
It was just unreal. I mean, I'm looking forward to a big shout out to Sarah and Robert and the whole Belfast Giants and Cara Group Travel and Melita and everybody. We've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Big shout out to Pierre. I'll send it to you. And Yellow and Sammy put together some flyers for us. They are amazing. They did an amazing job on it. Maybe we'll start posting that during each show to let the people over in Ireland know where we'll be broadcasting from. Yeah. But yes, tomorrow, our final installment of the Friendship 4 head coaches. We'll have Miami of Ohio head coach Anthony Nareen joining us here. Mm-hmm. We will be pre-recording, so it won't be live, so no Q&A, but you can still watch that at 4:00. We're looking forward to that. I'm getting excited, Pierre, because I think the Harry Lemon, the harp.
Is Michael ready for us at the Harry Lemon?
Oh, he's ready. He's psyched. We've got our little nest there that we were in before.
That's the most amazing place to do a show. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then Michael's ready for us, and the harp's ready for us. And
Ollie's ready at the harp. They're all ready over at McConnell's Distillery. And then, of course, at the arena, too. That's going to be fun, too, in the middle of the games when we can kind of.
I'm looking forward to that as well. I was just, as you know, I was there last week, and it was amazing to see all the people coming up. Like, I remember I walked over to one of the pizza places. I don't think you and I went to it. I was there last year when we were there. And the young lady who was my server, she's like, hey, you're the hockey guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm the hockey guy. What gave me away? My haircut?
Well, I'm looking forward to going to my little deli I found last year. Remember, Pierre? Gluten-free.
Good.
So I'll be good. Great stuff. Looking forward to it. So I can't wait to get over there. What are we, 2 weeks from Sunday?
Yeah, Sarah, I'm so pumped. Sarah's done such a good job. Sarah Stan's done such a good job on this whole thing.
She's
just
great.
Phenomenal.
Cara Group Travel. If you ever need a great trip over to Ireland, that's where you go. Check it out. And of course, they've got
Jimmy, seriously, it's not because we're friends with her. I'm just telling you, like, you want to get organized and go over there, you go through her. Yep. I promise you, you will never have a bad experience dealing with that lady.
And just so everyone knows, they now have a separate site specifically for the Friendship 4. It's called friendship4travel.com. So if you have relatives playing in that, or you're just a fan, go over there, friendship4travel.com, and they'll hook you up for the next 4 years. So you're all set there. All right.
I think North Dakota already bought up their section of tickets.
That was the day we were at the State House here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've already bought already. So Sarah's never been busier. All those people are booking flights out of Grand Forks. Like, come on.
Can't wait. We got to get Shane over there, our producer, sometime.
Why doesn't Shane come this time?
I know. I would love that. We'll get him there.
You know, Jimmy, if you pull that off this year, I would be so excited.
Yeah.
Shane's probably like, no, stop. I got enough to do.
He's part of our team.
He's a superstar. He is so good at his job.
Well, of course, he'll be working with you later tonight. The Habs post game here on Sick Media Podcast Network. So check him out there. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks for a great week. Thanks to Matt Keator for joining us, and congratulations to Zdeno Chara and all the inductees. And Pierre, you have a wonderful time up there this weekend, my friend.
I will. I'll be talking to you tomorrow. I'll probably be talking to you tonight, probably whining about some more refereeing or bad TV coverage. Poor Jimmy. He bears the brunt of my complaining.
I love it. Trust me. It's a fun part of my night. All right. Great time. Have a great one out there, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll be back live on Monday here in the iTest on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.